Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson, and we're going to review the answers to our March 27th quiz on the Unit 5 study of probability and statistics. All right, here's question number 1. Kim is playing a game using the spinner shown here below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the numbers on this Kim spinner. What is the probability that the arrow will land on a number greater than 4 on Kim's next spin? Well, there's a key word there. Greater than. Greater than means more than. So we want more than 4. So what numbers are more than 4? Well, we got the number 5. That's more than 4. And we got a number 6. That's more than 4. So we can't say 4 because 4 is equal to 4. We want numbers that are greater than 4. So we only have 2 numbers out of the whole 6 numbers that are there. So the only 2 numbers are 4, or you can get not 4, 5, or 6. Those are the 2 numbers that we need to get in order to win. If you remember probability, it's the chances of something happening out of the total possible outcomes. So if you remember, it's always a fraction, decimal, or percentage. And here are the 2 numbers that we need to win. The possible numbers, if you remember, that's what could possibly come out. We could get a 1, or we can get a 2, or a 3, 4, 5, or 6. So those are all the possible numbers that can come out when it comes down to figuring out what would be our probability, or our sample space is another word of saying the total possible outcomes. So it's 2 numbers, 5 and 6, out of a total of 6 different numbers. So our probability fraction, and I'll write it out the way we should see it. The probability, and let me get a pen. So let's get our pen into action here. So let me get my pen. Okay, and I'll choose red. All right. So our probability of getting a number greater than 4 would be 2 numbers. That's the 5 or 6 out of the 6 possible numbers. Now I'm looking here and I don't see that. I see 1 out of 6, but I don't see 2 out of 6. So probably what they did was they reduced it down to a lower term. So let's look at the number that we have here, 2 and 6. So we can take 2 and 6 and we can reduce that down by dividing both of those by the number 2. So if we divide 2 by 2, we'll get 1. If we divide 6 by 2, we'll get 3. So that would be our answer in simplest terms. So our answer would be choice B, 1/3. So I hope you got that right. Let's go on to our next question. Which number represents the probability of an event that is very likely to occur? And there is another keyword, very likely to occur. Likely. So that means it has a good chance of occurring. So if you remember the term 50-50, 50-50, 50-50, that means a half. And a half would be 0.5 or 0.50. That's where the 50 comes from. So 50-50 means it could happen, half of the chance it would happen, half the chance it wouldn't happen. So very likely, so that means it's got to be better than 50%. So I'm going to get rid of A, and I'm going to get rid of choice D because those are not even 50%. So that's not even giving me a 50% chance. So my answer is going to be either B or C. Now I'm looking at choice B. Now, when I look at probability, I remember probability is between 0 and 1 as a decimal, 0 and 1. So you can't go higher than 1. That would be 100%. or you can go as low as 0. So the probability is somewhere in between those two numbers. So I'm going to go with choice C, and that's like 89% if you change it to a percentage. So that's a pretty good chance of happening. This is over 100% chance, and that is no such thing. So you can't have higher than 100%. So that's why choice B is incorrect. So I hope you chose choice C. And if you haven't watched the video on probability, check out those numbers I gave on showing what's likely and unlikely. All right, our next question was the number 5 I'm sorry, the 5 numbered cards are mixed up and placed face down. So you see them now, but they're going to turn them so you can't see them. One card is going to be selected at random. What do you mean at random? That means we're going to be choosing one without looking, and it could be any likely choice of card being selected. So what is the probability that the card will be a 4 or a 7? Now remember, if we go back to our first question, the probability of getting something to win is what we need. So we're interested in seeing what we can get to win. So we need a 4. So let's put down what would be the probability of getting a 4. Well, how many 4s we got? I see this one right here. No more 4s. So I got 1 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cards. So there are 5 different cards that I can get, and I only have one of them that's a 4. Now, I can also win if I get a 7. So let's take a look at that. Let's write that down. Probability of getting a 7. So I win if I get a 7. Now I'm looking at this because it's kind of strange here. I got a 7 here, which I need to win. So I got a 7, but there's also a second 7 over here. So that's 2 more cards that I can get. So if I got 7, and I'll call this 7 number 1, and I'll call this 7 number 2, so there are 2 different 7s that I can get because there are only 5 cards, and 2 of them are 7. So my probability of getting a 7 would be 2 of them out of all of the 5 cards that are in the deck. So notice there are 2 cards that are 7. And if you got that one, you would win. If you got that 7, you would still win. So this is a interesting probability because or is in the play here. So we can get this 7 or we can get that 7. And if you remember, we can also get that 4. So there's a lot of numbers that we can get. So there's a total of 1, 2, 3 cards that we can get. So the probability of a 4 or 7, and let's write that down here, probability of a 4 or 7. So that's our goal, to get a 4 or 7. Well, the probability of getting a 4 was 1 out of 5. And if we got a 7, which was the probability of getting that, was 2 out of 5. So our probability looks pretty good. There are 3 cards out of 5 that we could get. So I'm going to see, do I have that? Oh, there it is right there. Choice A. So if you chose choice A, you got it. So 3 cards out of the 5 cards, you would win. And there they are right there in the middle. The 7, the 4, and the second 7. So those are the cards that you would need. So out of the 5 cards, these are the 3 you would win. And that's a pretty good chance of winning, 60% chance of winning. So you have a good chance of winning. It's pretty likely that you would get one of those cards. So that was a little different from what we're used to seeing, but hey, good question. All right, here's our last question. What is the decimal equivalent of the fraction 8 over 15? Well, we got two ways we can do it. We can use our old saying, kick it off the roof and put it in the house. When are you kicking off the roof? Well, let me draw the house. The 8, I'm going to kick that off of the top of the fraction and put that in this division house. Put a decimal point and a few zeros there and start dividing. That's one way of doing it. So 8 goes in, 15 goes into 8. Let's get a different color. 15 goes into 8 0 times. Put a decimal point there. 15 goes into 80. Let's see, 6 times. No, I believe 5 times. And I'll notice up here because they all have 5. So I think 6 times 5, I think that's 90. So let's try 5. And 5 times that, I believe, is 75. 5 times 15 is 75. Bring that down. And I have 5 remainder. Cross that out. Make that a 7. Bring a 1 over there so you can see it. Bring down this 0. And let's change color so you can see much better. So 15 goes into 50 3 times. And 15 times that, I believe, is 45. And let's borrow 1 from here, make that a 4. Put a 1 up here. That's 10 minus 5. And we got a 5. Got another 5. Interesting. All right, let's get the green. And let's bring this down. And hey, got another 50. Interesting. All right, so that goes another 3 times. So, and that's going to be 45. I notice the 45 keeps repeating when I multiply, and I'm going to have 5 left over. So let's bring this down a little bit. So this looks to me like it's going to be repeating decimal. So I'll borrow 1 from here. That'll be a 4, 10, and 5. I'll even add another 0 here, but when I bring that 0 down, I get 50 again, and that's going to be a 3. So the 3 keeps repeating because 3 times 15 is 45, and it looks like I'm going to get 5 and as a remainder, and every time I keep bringing down the 0, I'll be doing that for quite a long time. So I'm going to say the 3 is repeating over and over and over. So I'm going to put dot, 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 3 dots there. So my answer is going to be 0.5, 3, 3, 3, 3, dot, dot, dot. Or I could take the 0.5 and put a 3 with a little line, and let's get my line so we can see that on top of it. The line means that the number underneath it is going to be repeating over and over and over again. So the 3 is only going to have the line on top of it because it's repeating over and over, as you see up here. So that's going to be my answer to this question. So I don't see 0.333. So that's not there. There's B. There's the one with the line on top of the 3. So I'm going to choose choice B. And I see C has a line over the 5 and 3. I cannot choose that because the 5 is not repeating. It's just a 3 that's repeating. Now I look at D. There's a 5 and just 2 3s, but I notice it stopped. The 3s, we kept dividing because we kept getting a remainder of 5. So this stopped right here. So that's why D is no good, because they stopped right here. The 3 kept repeating. So that's why D is no good. And A, same reason. So choice B would be our answer. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you still need help, there's Dollar Teacher Homework Helpline at 212-777-3380, Monday through Thursday. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Give them a call, and hopefully they'll be able to help you with your homework. There's also my study videos I have on YouTube. Check it out. Let me know how we're doing. Subscribe to our channel. Check out our latest release, PKMS Math Prep 19, and tweet me at drobmath1. My channel name, by the way, is Dan Robinson. Write us a note. Let us know how we're doing. Give us a thumbs up. I do write you back. Check out our show Math Time on Tuesdays on Optimum Cablevision, Altice, I believe, uh, and that is from 4:30 to 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, Channel 15 in Peekskill. Good math show. Study with Dr. Rob. If you would like a copy of a worksheet on some of the topics that we were doing with probability, please write me at robinsonmath@aol.com, and I'll be glad to send you something. Don't forget to take a look out for our Math Prep 20. There's a nice clip of it available on YouTube, so check it out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and this is Dr. Robinson signing off. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.